experience with picking up on energy and information from people who have crossed over. Those that come back to this side, as in they wake up from their situations. So if they get shot, they survive. If they get hit by a car, they survive. Whatever happens to them, if they have a heart attack or a stroke and they survive, that is when they feel the pain that everybody's afraid to feel at the time and the point of death. So I'm safe to say that these 3 and 4, baby inside, all crossed over. Very karmic relationship. That Saturn in the 7th house with Shanann in her natal chart basically says her relationships are extremely karmic. Now, the 7th house is the marriage house. It is the house of relationships. All relationships we have, business, partnerships, all kinds of things. But it's very karmic when it's placed there. It means there is karmic repercussions for the relationship. You have to look at the other aspects to Saturn, and you also have to look at the sign that Saturn's placed in. Now, hers is placed in Scorpio. That's why I think Chris's rising sign is Scorpio, because Saturn would have been on his ascendant, and this would have exactly played out, although he should not have taken the action he did. But this is so interesting because when I was looking at the energy, so I'm going all over the place with their energy. It's taking me in many different directions. I wanted to say this when Chris was younger. I'm just going to say this. It sounds very strange. He's completely responsible for what he did. 100% responsible. No excuses whatsoever. However, Christopher, when he was young, kind of went through the world in a hypnotic state. This is how I'm seeing him. Kind of unaware of the reality of things in front of him. You could call it self-deluded. I'm going to take it up a notch and say there's an energy freeze on the way that he sees things, and I'm seeing this. I believe that Christopher was born into a family that practiced a type of religious belief system that isn't in the traditional sense. And I'm really saying this here. I was shocked when I picked that up. I don't know that Chris is aware exactly that he comes from that, because there's a certain element of dissociation, detachment that's always been with him. He's always been detached, as in not connecting to what's going on right in front of him. We could say that he is a person who can't see the reality, so he chooses to put on rosy colored glasses and view the world from that perspective, which I find, if it's not in the murdering sense, I guess it's up to you how you want to see the world. But this man, basically from the age of 3 on, is suffering from dissociation. He detaches on an emotional level from the circumstances that are going on right in front of him. So there is a part of him that steps out and something else steps in. You could call this a form of spirit possession, and I'm not even joking. I'm talking before he got married. I'm talking before he went to 9th grade. I'm talking before he got his first job, before he left his home. I feel that this goes directly to the parental raising of this child. No, I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying that I feel the family philosophy in life, the way that they viewed the world, the way that they viewed the hierarchy of human beings, of the spirit world, of their religious practices, is what caused Chris to dissociate from certain thoughts and actions. The reason for that is the thoughts and actions that ended him in jail are what were encouraged underneath. It sounds very strange, but I'm almost going to say that I feel his family background was involved in a larger circle or group of people that practiced certain things in order to gain other things. I'm trying not to say it on YouTube here so I don't get kicked off, but I actually feel that this is what was going on underneath. I feel that the rituals that they were involved in early on in Chris's life caused this. Now, they may have put him into an altered state, so as a child, he wouldn't cause a fight, run away. I mean, try getting a child into a traditional church. You know, sometimes you have to threaten them. You can't go out on the weekends. You can't do this. I mean, a lot of little kids aren't going to kind of join the family for, prayer circles and all kinds of things unless they're raised in an environment that is more cultish. And I feel that I'm talking about that with this. Now, Here is an interesting marker in time. How can I word this? Poor Shanann. Well, let me talk about her for a second. What I see with her is she very much felt like she was behind the curve as far as getting things. So she really wanted to be something. She had this thing where I want to be something. I want to be successful. I want to achieve. I want to be able to create things. I want to, a good life. I want to have a family. I want a good looking husband. I want, to have babies. I want to have it all. Now, all you women out there know that this is impossible. You cannot have it all. If you've had kids and you've had to work, you can't have it all. I mean, unless you have a private chef and a maid, but who does? So she wanted that kind of a lifestyle. And this was kind of put into her head through her family. The weird thing is, I would assume it was through the father, but both of these people, Shanann and Chris, had mothers that kind of steered them down a different path than what was right. Shanann was not on her spiritual path. She was not on it at all. She was on the, she's an earth sign and Chris is an earth sign. So they're both on the earth sign path. Money and things that we can gain and how do we appear and what do we have and how do we make our living and how many kids do we have and how good is this? Okay, so she was on this path. She loved her children dearly, okay? There's been a lot of things that have been transposed in the speaking about Shanann and Chris from what I could get. A lot of Chris's family transposed information onto Shanann. In other words, Shanann was a pain in the ass in the sense that she spoke up for what she wanted. She was strong and she was direct and she said what she wanted. She was a freaking, strong woman. However, there's blame being projected from Chris's family onto her that had nothing to do with her and had to do with their